Hello, Laura here. Welcome back to the Scam Files, episode 12, the AI threat to your family. Today we're talking about something that might change how you answer your phone forever. Imagine this. Your daughter's voice comes through the receiver panicked and crying, saying she's been arrested after a car accident. Or your grandson begging for money because he's been robbed overseas. It sounds impossible until you realize scammers aren't just calling anymore. They're using artificial intelligence to clone the voices of people you love most. 1 in 4 adults has either experienced this themselves or knows someone who has. I'm here to break down what's happening, why it matters, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself and your family. This is a story about trust technology and what happens when the two collide in ways nobody anticipated. Let's get into it. First, let's talk numbers. A global cybersecurity study released earlier this year found some really startling statistics. 25% of adults have encountered an AI voice cloning scam directly or indirectly. And 77% of victims who engaged with these scams actually lost money. Some folks lost around $500 and others as much as $15,000. We're not talking pocket change, we're talking savings accounts, retirement funds. Money parents set aside for years wired away within minutes because a cloned voice sounded exactly like their child. Think about that for a second. When you hear someone you trust on the phone, especially during an emergency, there's an automatic biological response. You want to help, and that instinct is now being weaponized. So, how does someone pull this off? Cybersecurity researchers say scammers need only a few seconds of audio to clone a voice. Now, where does this audio come from? TikTok videos, social media posts with voiceovers, voicemail greetings, left online, podcast appearances, Facebook video clips, basically anything where you talked out loud in a public or semi-public space becomes data. Once criminals collect enough samples, AI tools can imitate your tone, your cadence, even your emotional patterns with shocking realism. You don't need to be a social media superstar to be vulnerable. Even minimal digital footprints can provide sufficient material. Experts warn people who think they stay off social media still may have voice data floating around online they forgot about. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but wouldn't I know if it was fake? Research says otherwise. 70% of people don't feel confident they could distinguish an AI-generated voice from a real human voice. That's 3 out of 4 people who can't tell the difference with certainty. Academic studies showed participants performed poorly when trying to identify AI-generated scam calls versus authentic recordings. Some people were actually more confident when they were wrong than when they were right. Researchers call this a critical vulnerability. The technology has advanced faster than our ability to detect deception. What used to be a reliable signal, that familiar voice confirming everything's okay, has become potentially compromised. Certain groups face higher risk: seniors, parents, and anyone prone to rapid decisions when family safety appears threatened. Scammers aren't picking random victims, they're exploiting emotional triggers. When your parent's voice tells you they're in trouble, do you question whether it's really them, or do you act first and verify later? That gap between action and verification is where these scams live. Once the money is wired or converted to cryptocurrency, or maybe loaded onto gift cards, recovery becomes nearly impossible, which means prevention isn't just helpful, it's essential. Okay, so here's the good news. Awareness and simple protocols can dramatically reduce your risk. Let me give you a practical action plan. First, establish a family code word, something only immediate family members would know. If you ever get a call claiming it's an emergency, ask for the code. Second, verify independently, don't call back the number that called you. Contact known numbers directly, text a different way, or meet in person if possible. Thirdly, slow down. Scammers rely on urgency. Tell them questions only family members would know. Share this alert message to spread awareness. Next week, we'll dive into another topic affecting digital security. Until then, take care out there and don't forget to like and subscribe.